Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you saw from the title, today I'm going to be making a beef tallow skin balm. So I know that this is mostly a travel channel and I do like to share my travel experiences with you, my insights, but also think of it as this is also a channel where you're traveling with me, with my experiences, my chapters in life, my milestones in life, and now I'm very much in like the homemaker era, and I've always loved being in the kitchen, experimenting, cooking. So let's get right into it. So I'm starting out with beef tallow that I got from the butcher. Beef tallow is basically rendered fat, usually from the cow. It doesn't really have a smell. There's a slight smell, but it's not strong at all. And this is how it looks like. It's usually in a solidified state. And I asked the butcher for about 100 grams of tallow. I'm not 100% sure if this is 100 grams, to be honest with you, because I'm not that good at measuring in grams. So I have a measuring cup that is roughly 50 grams. So I'm just gonna measure that out to get an idea of how much I want to use. When I started measuring, I thought that I would use maybe half of the tallow, but then as I started putting it into the cup, I realized that there wouldn't be that much left in the bag, so I decided to use the whole thing for this recipe. So the next step is melting the tallow. I don't have a double boiler, so I decided to DIY it. So I tried with two pots and maybe a strainer with the two pots, but that didn't work. So I thought of getting something else. So this is what I ended up coming up with. So a first pot with water, then the strainer so it holds, and then a stainless steel bowl. So the next step is just filling it with water. I like to fill with hot water from the pipe so the boiling is much faster. And I usually just put this at about an 8. I have an induction stove, so 8 it's like medium high, I would say. And then I just put the tallow inside when I feel that the stainless steel bowl is hot enough. And then the tallow will just take some time to melt. I just leave it at 8 and let it melt as slowly as it wants to, so that it's not rushed or so that it doesn't get burned fast. And then as you can see now it's melted, there's a little bit of residue on there. And I just mix that, turn off the heat, and then I go straight to straining it. For this, I'm just using a glass jar that I had some coconut oil in that is now finished. It's a little bit big, but it's still perfect and wide enough where I can dip my fingers in to use it on my skin. Now I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I use olive oil because my skin loves olive oil. It's super nourished when I use it, but you can use any other oil that you prefer, like jojoba oil, argan oil, whatever you like. I just choose to use olive oil. And then I'm going in with some lavender essential oil. Lavender has a lot of benefits and the smell is great, but I'm just putting about 3 to 4 drops of lavender oil because when I use too much, it is overpowering, and I want this balm to have just a slight lavender scent, but still more on the unscented side. And then I'm just mixing everything in so it's well mixed and has a good consistency. The smell is not overpowering at all. I can barely smell the lavender, which is totally okay. So now I'm just gonna leave it and let it solidify at air temperature, at room temperature, than putting it in a cool spot. So yeah, while I wait, I just was admiring the flowers on the dining table because it's so beautiful. And spring is here, so a lot of these flowers are growing in the garden. So now the tallow is solidified, as you can see. And now I'm just going to use a hand mixer and whip the tallow. So the mixer is perfect because it gives the tallow this whipped consistency like a usual skin balm. So you can use your discretion, but I'm just going in for a few minutes, going around mixing this tallow until I reach a consistency that I really like. And having a rubber spatula is super helpful because you can get the tallow that is stuck in the mixer out. And this tallow is like liquid gold, so I don't want to have too much of it stuck into the mixer. So I really try to use the spatula to clean as much of the mixer as I can, so that I can have as much of it into the container instead of having it go to waste. And then I'm just cleaning that out, as you see. And then because it's so messy, now what I'm doing is just making it a little bit more cleaner, scraping the tallow that is on the top and on the sides more inside the jar so that everything is good. So as you can see, the consistency of the tallow is really like silky and smooth, which is exactly what I like. And when I'm using it on my skin, I just use a little bit because it spreads very easily. Tallow is really good for when you have dry skin that is prone to eczema and dry patches. I have really dry skin, and this seeps into my skin really fast without leaving a residue. And I just use 1p, and that's enough. And as you can see, my skin is quite moisturized, and also my hands are moisturized. So it's perfect. So now we're gonna move to storing the skin balm and also labeling it as well so it looks really cute. So I just cut like a thin piece of paper, just thin enough where I can write the name of the balm and also where it's a right size to wrap around the jar. So now I'm just gonna DIY by taking a piece of tape that is long enough for the label, but with a little bit extra tape on each end so that it will easily stick to the jar. I got this recipe from the homesteadingrd.com, and the blog also gives great insight on why beef tallow is so effective for our skin. So definitely check that blog out if you need more information. So now I'm just adding the label here, and now it's just perfect, I would say. So now you have DIY beef tallow skin balm. So I would recommend that you store this in a dark, dry place like the bathroom cabinet, and let me know in the comments if you try it. Thank you for coming back to another video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and see you in another video. Bye!